You guys, if you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, you need to. It's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcast, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Welcome to Mimesis, the podcast about all the twisted ways art and life imitate each other. I'm Sandra Sheriff Zackerly.
And I'm Stacey Rourke.
And we are your host on this zany adventure.
We are indeed.
Any adventures?
Just one that I need to vent about for a second. And
I put that in my notes.
What?
I put that in my notes.
Yeah. And I'm gonna use colorful words to describe this person. But I'm not gonna say her name.
No, she doesn't deserve it.
I'm not gonna say her book title.
Nope.
But if you are in the indie author community at all, in any way, shape, or form, you will have heard, possibly, about this woman who faked her death. What was it, 2-3 years ago?
Yeah.
Said she committed her quote unquote daughter, which we don't even know for sure if she has a daughter.
Correct.
Said that she committed suicide, and they had like a GoFundMe to raise money for her funeral costs, and they had somebody else that was going to step forward and run her street team for her so that they could continue selling the books for the family. And the woman faked the entire thing. The person that took over her street team was actually her under another name.
Yep. And she started writing under another name. And this became such a big deal in the indie community that BuzzFeed picked up on it. I believe Rolling Stone picked up on it. People Magazine picked up on it. Ugh. All of these people picked up on the story and were posting the fucking pictures of her cover, snippets of her book, her name, all over the place. No, you don't do that. You can say that what she did, but you do not give her the publicity that she wants. This is why she did it.
Exactly. Do you know how many, myself included, how many authors would love to have a BuzzFeed feature done on them? Would love to be pictured in fucking Rolling Stone? And we're putting the work in every goddamn day. And this criminal is the one that is, no, ma'am. Mm-mm.
Yeah. And even if her family did it, like if she really did go to the hospital, like, and she came out and she's like, what did you fucking do? And like, hey, dude, I'm not dead. Like if she would have instantly done it, not waited 3 years. No.
I saw a post today of somebody that tried to confront her in messages.
Yes, I read those.
And she was like, and I'm paraphrasing. This isn't exactly what she said. Basically, she was like, take your complaints and shove them up your ass because my name is everywhere now. I'm going to get a Netflix deal out of this.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yes. She was like, my name is everywhere. This was all part of my plan. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So to this woman, I hope you enjoy your 15 minutes of fame. And I really, really look forward to when karma bites you in the ass, because it's going to.
Right.
Those of us, you and I both, who have been affected by people we know who have committed suicide, and you're going to make a fucking joke and a profit off of that?
Right.
No. No.
That's the part that I'm not okay with. Like, I just recently had an accidental suicide, and it just fucking hurts.
Yeah.
That she would even like do this.
And to take advantage of the kindness of people who, reached out and wanted to help.
Right. Like, because this community, the indie authors, are so nice and so helpful, and they support everybody.
Yeah.
They support their own. And to fucking take advantage of that pisses me off so bad, because that makes me think of somebody taking advantage of you, and like, no, I'll fight somebody.
I will stab someone. Oh, this whole thing, it just pisses. Like when I saw on BuzzFeed, and they put a snippet of her book on there. And apparently bitch does not understand punctuation, because she had like one paragraph was one sentence that just went on and on.
Oh gosh.
And you went into the comments, and the people in the comments were saying, this is why I don't read indie. Look at how horrible the grammar and the punctuation in that is. And I was like,
you're giving
look
a
at the
name.
bad name you are giving to all of us.
Right.
Who actually put the steps in, who actually have editors, numerous editors. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I just hope karma comes along and gives her the kick in the teeth she deserves.
Your books were not good. Exactly. They're not going to get better because you faked your death.
Yeah.
And that's where if and only if she really is suicidal, I don't want people to be so harsh on her that she actually does do this.
Yes, we don't want that at all. And that's another thing she said is, what, you guys were so supportive when you thought I was dead. Are you wishing death on me? No, I'm wishing honesty on you. I wish you would have been honest.
Yeah. Like I don't want her to hurt herself. But at the same time, you have to be ready for this negative because you did something completely wrong.
Mm-hmm. My husband says all the time to our kids, you can make whatever decision you choose. You have to be ready for the consequences.
Correct.
And that's it. You made a decision. You could have, over the last 2-3 years, at any point said, listen, I'm sorry this happened. I needed to take a mental break. I needed to just fall off the face of the planet for a little while. And I'm sorry. But the way she came at it and is just like, nope, fuck you.
Right. Yeah. I read some of it while I was traveling home from your house, and I was like, ooh, I can't wait to talk about this.
It pisses me off so badly. I know so many indie authors that deserve to be highlighted for their work, for it being quality literature.
Yes.
That just happens to be in an indie platform. And for this woman to be the one that, first of all, is now, for the moment at least, the face of the indie movement. Let's talk about the fact that Colleen Hoover, who's like the biggest author in the world right now, and she started as an indie. Let's make her the face of the indie movement, not this criminal.
Correct.
Oh. Yeah. So yeah, that's my rant for a minute.
I'm sad to see that you're on the other side of the computer again.
I know. I can't just look to my right. If I look to my right, all I see is my Peloton bike, which I'm going to be getting on later today. And I'm still hoping they become a sponsor.
I'm really hoping so as well, because Scott is on, like, since you were like, hey, look at all this stuff you can do, he's really on board to getting one. And I'm like, yes, let's get this to going.
It's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
I love my Peloton.
I'm excited. Like, when I saw you working out, I was like, oh, I want to work out like that.
You walked in and I was dripping with sweat, and you were like, wow.
Yeah.
Look at you go.
I was like,
you not smell so bad.
It's like, I'm not trying to interrupt you, but I need to get work done for the podcast so that we could actually record.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. But yes, I hope you guys get one as well.
I hope so.
All right. Well, I guess we should get to the part where we actually, do
Talk
a
about the
podcast.
episode? Yeah. So today I'm doing Remember the Titans.
Which you said is one of your favorite movies ever.
It was a really good movie. Yeah, I really like it. It's a football movie about a 1971 high school football team.
Okay.
And I mean, we can go on a tangent of football at the moment. And the guy last week who got hurt.
Holy shit.
That's so crazy.
Oh my gosh, that whole thing. And I guess he's conscious.
Yes.
And was able to communicate. And the very first thing he said was, "Did we win?" Or "Who won the game?" That's what he said. Very first thing. Yeah. Well, he couldn't talk at the time because he still had the tube down his throat, but he wrote it down and he said, "Who won the game?" And the doctors told him, "You did. You won the game of life."
Yes, and we're very happy that he did.
Yes. But he's able to actually talk now. He doesn't have the tube down his throat.
Good.
Yeah. I guess I saw a picture of him. He was sitting up. He had the oxygen tube on and looks like he's doing better.
Good. That's just scary. 24 years old and you get hit just right that it gives you a heart attack.
Yeah. I really, really hope that his physicians advise him
Never again.
Never again.
Yeah.
Football needs to be off the table for him.
Yeah.
You got lucky once, sir.
Yeah.
Technically twice, because I guess they had to resuscitate him a second time when he got to the hospital.
Okay.
His heart stopped a second time then. So
yeah.
Twice. You were at death's door, literally. Let's not go for third time's a charm here.
Thank you to the athletic trainer who started CPR immediately, because this could have been a different outcome.
Yes, that's what his doctors have said, is that had they not taken the measures that they did, it would have gone completely different. They saved his life.
Yeah, and CPR, like everybody's like, CPR is so traumatic. It is.
Yeah,
it really is. Seeing it done is very traumatic.
And his teammates, oh my gosh. The rest of us were kind of shielded from exactly what was happening because they were around there kind of making like a barrier, basically. Right. But those guys were right there. They were watching it. They were seeing what was happening. And you saw grown men crying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So scary.
Yeah.
And then at the same time that all of this is going on, we learned that Jeremy Renner was being a real life hero and got ran over by a snowplow trying to help some people whose car was stuck.
Yeah. I didn't hear the full story on him, but that was like, what? 2023, you need to stop already.
Simmer down. I guess what happened is he got out of the snowplow for a minute and it started to roll, like a safety mechanism or something didn't work, and it started to roll, and he tried to climb up in it to stop it and instead ended up getting run over by it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thankfully both of them are doing better, and we can send all our prayers that they continue on the road to recovery. And 2023 need to slow your roll.
Right? We said nobody claimed this year. Who claimed it?
Who claimed it?
So this movie has Denzel Washington as Coach Boone.
Okay.
So you have Ryan Hurst.
Who you love.
Who I love. As Opie. Or I mean, as Gary.
Well, you loved him as Opie too.
Opie. You have Wood Harris as Julius. Ryan Gosling was in this.
Really?
Yes, a very, very young Ryan Gosling.
Baby face, like fresh out of the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse show.
Yes. He's Alan. Then you have Ethan Suppley as Louis.
Okay.
And then Donald Fashion? Is that his name?
Oh my God, from Scrubs.
Yeah, Turk.
Faison.
Faison.
Yes.
That's all. Okay.
Yes.
Donald Faison. Turk.
I love him.
Yeah, I do too. I forgot how much I love Scrubs. When we got to the one hotel after leaving your house, we were flipping through the channels and Scrubs was on. I was like, why is it the last episode?
I need to watch that with my kids. Elliot's named after Elliot from Scrubs. So.
Yeah, like Elliot and JD were on there, and I was like, that's where Ellie got her name from, Emma. And she goes, really? And I was like, yep.
Because Jay and I loved that show, and that literally was the only name him and I could both agree on. That was it.
Yeah. Well, I remember watching the show with you, but I never like watched it like from start to finish. I'd only catch like certain episodes when I came over to your house and hanging out. And so Scott actually had me sit down and watch them from start to finish.
It's hysterical. That show is
good.
So funny.
So funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guy love.
Yes.
And then Scott's always saying, why is there silverware in my pancake drawer?
The one that we always say is not the same thing, Todd.
Yes. Not the same thing, Todd. Yeah.
Okay. So we've gone off on another tangent.
Yeah. Well, there's lots of tangents.
Okay.
So, okay. The movie starts with a group of football players and coaches, and they all come together in the fall to attend Gary's funeral. However, his funeral being depicted in autumn, it was really in March. He passed away roughly 10 years later, March 20th, 1981.
Okay.
And at the age of 28, 27.
Oh my gosh, he was young.
Yeah. Yes. He was killed by a drunk driver.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
That's horrible.
Back to 1971. 10 years earlier, at the desegregated T.C. Williams High School in Alexandria, Virginia, a black head coach, Herman Boone, is hired to coach the school's football team.
Okay.
Boone is assigned to coach under the current coach, Bill Yost, who was nominated for the Virginia High School Hall of Fame. However, at the time of this, there was no High School Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay. So
that's a fake.
Just
that
added for the movie. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So, in attempt to keep peace of the rising racial tensions and the fact all other high schools were white only, Boone is assigned the head coach job. He refuses, believing it's unfair to Yost, but relents after seeing that it means so much to the black community. Yost is offered an assistant coach job by the school board and initially refuses, but reconsiders after the white players pledge to boycott the team if he does not participate.
Really?
Yeah. Like, it's a really heavy, like, super racism in the beginning of the movie. And it bothers me so much.
Yeah. In that part, I don't know if we're going to get to this, but is that part true that that's really what he experienced there?
In a way, but Alexandria schools were fully integrated in 1965.
Okay, so it shouldn't have been that way.
Right. And the elementary schools were integrated in 1959.
Isn't it interesting that they had the younger kids go first?
Yeah, a little bit.
You know why? Because younger kids, it's not in their nature to hate or judge. No, they don't care.
Taught.
Yeah.
And that's bothers me so much.
Yeah. Learn something from kids.
Yeah. The city of Alexandria, Virginia, consolidated students from 3 high schools into the T.C. Williams in 1971. So that's kind of where they took the liberties of saying that they were separated. But it was actually just 3 of the schools, the high schools, coming down to 1 high school.
Okay.
And that's when Boone was named head coach.
That had to be a pretty damn big school.
Yeah.
Either that or the schools that combined were really tiny.
That's probably it. I mean,
yeah.
Virginia. Yeah. Little towns everywhere.
Yeah.
So back to the movie, the protest of the students losing their chance at scholarships. Like Yost didn't want them to lose their scholarships. So he changes his mind, takes up the position of defensive coordinator under Boone. Even though his daughter Cheryl didn't want that. And they show in the movie Cheryl being this super, super interested in football games, like yelling at them, like really understanding how the game works. But the only thing that Yost said about his daughter is that the only like signs that she showed that she liked football was that she came to all the games.
She was being supportive.
Yeah.
And for all we know, it could have just been that they served really good hot dogs at the concession stand.
That, or she didn't have a babysitter and her dad was there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
She was really into football, or she didn't have anywhere else to go in the moment.
Right. So on August 15th, the players gathered and journeyed to Gettysburg College, where their training camp takes place. As their days of training camp progress, the football team frequently clash in racially motivated conflicts, including some between captains Jerry and Julius. But after forced coaching and rigorous athletic training by Boone, which includes an early morning run to Gettysburg Cemetery and a motivational speech, the team
you said that
finally...
really funny.
Huh?
You said cemetery really funny.
I did?
Yeah, you're like cemetery. Like you put a really weird
Probably.
Cemetery.
I was in the South for a while. Like I pick up on...
You went full Jennifer Coolidge there for a minute. Cemetery.
Oh my gosh, I saw that they're making another pie, American Pie.
Are they really?
I think so.
Oh, dear Lord. Listen, Hollywood, if you're out of ideas, I got some I can float your way. Just saying.
Right? But if they do, they have to bring back Sliffler's mom.
Well, yeah, they do. They do. Also, you need to watch White Lotus. You need to.
Okay.
Seasons 1 and 2. It's on HBO Max. You must watch it. Jennifer Coolidge is in it. She is brilliant.
White Lotus.
Do not watch it with the kids.
Okay.
But it's kind of like murder mystery with comedy and everything rolled all in. You must watch.
Okay, I will.
Yes.
Okay. So
we're at the cemetery.
The cemetery. He gives an emotional speech, and then finally the teams start to like be harmonious.
Okay.
And like finally playing together, finally like accepting.
Good. They got their heads out of their asses for a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So real talk.
Real talk.
Boone took the team to the Gettysburg. That actually happened.
Okay.
And President Richard Nixon sent an aide, Dr. Brown, to see this integrated football team that was beginning to catch national attention. I'm assuming that was after they started winning.
Yeah. The president doesn't send people to watch a losing team.
Right. Right. And so in December 1971, Nixon was quoted as saying that the Titans, the team, saved the city of Alexandria.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Because of the way their integration was viewed by other people?
Right. That they were like working well, that the team was doing good. Yeah.
Okay. So they got over their bullshit and...
Yes.
Other people were inspired to as well.
Yes.
Okay. I like that.
So while the team was at the camp, it shows Coach Boone waking them up at 3 a.m. to go for a run. This did not occur.
There's a 3 a.m?
Right? I only see 3 a.m. if I stay up that long. Otherwise, I'm
that's
sleeping.
True. Yeah. I once had to get up for a flight at 3 a.m. It was like I had to drive myself to the airports when I still lived in Michigan. And I
was going to say, we just did that the other day.
Yeah, no. This was like I had to get up and drive myself. And my brain was not coherent enough that like roads I've traveled a million times before, like all of a sudden I had no idea where I was or what was happening.
Yeah. I think one of the times that I came down to see you, I had to be up at like 3 o'clock, leave the house by 4 to be to Detroit. And it was just like, I'm tired.
You almost might as well just stay up at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I would have been better to stay up and fall asleep on the flight.
Yeah.
But then I'd be afraid, like, because you wait so long waiting to get to your airport or your airplane.
What if I fall asleep and miss my plane? That's when you pin a note to yourself. Please wake me up to get on the plane. Okay, so he wakes them up at 3 a.m. for training?
Yes. To go on this run.
Okay.
That didn't happen.
Okay. He didn't actually do that.
Neither did the speech that he gave at Gettysburg.
Okay.
The team did go on tour. Yeah.
Okay.
All of that was just Hollywood drama. Yeah. He did give a speech, but it wasn't as dramatic as portrayed in the film.
It never is. Because you don't have professional writers writing your speeches for you.
In the film, Coach Boone has said that 50,000 men died here. There were approximately 46,000 casualties and 80,000 deaths in this battle. It's not real.
That's not real.
No. In the movie, Coach Boone states, "We are not like all the other schools in this conference. They're all white. They don't have to worry about race. We do." This is also false because the schools were already integrated years before that.
That's funny. Yeah. They're all white. No, they're not.
Yeah. But that's where Hollywood really took that liberty of saying that they were.
Okay.
And
but I think they were trying to make a point.
Yeah.
Now the other schools were integrated. Did they allow Black members on the team at that point? Were the team sports? Or was this the first to allow team sports to...
Well, this is what they were saying, is that...
the team was integrated.
Yeah, the team was integrated.
Whereas the other schools weren't allowing integration on the teams quite yet. Okay. Right. All right. So this is where that started.
They started it by... they came into the school and they're integrating all of the sports teams at the same time. So that's where there was like this uprise of whatever, which it might have happened when they first integrated the schools. But again, this was 5-6 years beforehand.
Yeah.
With the elementary schools being 10 years beforehand. Yeah.
And here these guys are out on the football field thinking they're making histories, and the elementary school kids are like, we've been doing this in the playground for about 10 years. What is your problem?
Well, even the school, they did it 5 years prior.
Okay.
Yeah. In the real timeline.
Okay.
Like the real life timeline. The movie timeline, this is the first.
Okay.
Yeah. So while they're at camp, a new player joins the team, Ronnie, who's known as Sunshine. And Gary calls him Fruitcake. And so when they are in the locker room, Sunshine kisses Gary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just to like harass him, which is, I think, brilliant in a way, because it's like, you're going to call me a fruitcake? Now you are too.
Yeah.
Ronnie Sunshine Bass was far from being the only one with the long hair, because that's why he called him Fruitcake, is he had this really long hair. He was from California, surfer dude.
Okay.
And so
that was the 70s, man. Everybody had long hair.
That's the thing. Gary had long hair in real life, not short hair like it shows in the movie. And Bass in real life says, I'll say for the record, my hair was never that long. He also says the kiss with Gary never happened.
That was just a bit of Hollywood as well.
Yes. This movie is all Hollywood.
Okay.
With the based on true story.
All right. So they took a lot of liberties here.
They did. Yeah. Okay. So after returning from the football camp, Boone is told by a member of the school board that if he loses even one single game, he will be dismissed, fired.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, that's harsh.
It really is. Damn, dude.
Yeah. But at the time, like, unfortunately, that was probably how it would have been.
Yeah.
You have an African-American coach who's coaching everybody, and they don't want him to be in that position.
Yeah. So basically give us any excuse to fire you.
Exactly. So subsequently, the Titans go through the season undefeated while battling prejudice before slowly gaining support from the community. Gary even has his best friend Ray removed from the team because of his racism. Following a game, he intentionally missed a block, which led to one of the players getting hurt very badly. In the movie.
Yeah. Didn't actually happen.
I couldn't find that.
Okay.
If that happened or not. But again, very, like, they actually won. They won all of their games.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of this, the football injury there, and then we were talking about the DeMar injury as well. I really, really hope after that situation that the NFL maybe starts taking a little bit more precautions with these guys and taking their injuries more seriously, because man, they need to. They
of
really
course.
need to.
Like, this football is so hard on your body.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm really, really, really shocked Tom Brady is still playing.
Yeah. I know his name is like exalted upon high in your household, but
he's a great football player. Like, his stats speak words for him, but in the football, he's old.
Yeah.
Like,
come on, give it up a little. About he gave up his whole family because he
chose football.
He chose football over
his family. Yeah.
And I will say, Giselle, good for you, because she was like, "No,
I'm done.
I'm done. Yeah. I'm not going to keep doing this anymore."
Yeah,
good for her.
I mean, yes, I don't know. I kind of stand on the fence for both, because I see his point of he was only like 9 yards from being like having the best record of the best of the best. So he would only need to play like one game and then be like, yep, played one game, then I retired.
But no, he signed on for a whole nother season.
He signed on for a whole nother season. That's where
after he promised her he was done.
Yeah. And that's where if you don't have really good communication and you break your trust, you're done.
Yeah.
And I'm glad she followed through.
Yeah. She was like, okay, well, you have now chose football over your family. So there you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways.
Football people. No, that's not you. I don't know where I was going with that.
Football, am I right?
Football. Okay. So just before the state finals, Yost is told by the chairman of the school board that he will be inducted into the Hall of Fame after the Titans lose one game, implying he wants Boone to be dismissed because of his race.
Oh.
Yep. So during the game, it becomes apparent to Yost that the referees are being extremely biased to the Titans.
Because they were told to be.
Correct. They were paid off. So upon seeing the chairman and the other board members in the audience looking with satisfaction, Yost realized that they've rigged the game and warns the head official. He goes, I will go to the press and expose you, and I'll go down too if you don't start officiating fairly.
Good for him.
Right.
I'm
Again,
guessing that never actually happened.
I don't think that happened. No.
Good for those Hollywood writers that wrote that scene.
But I mean, that shows that you have people who will stand by you.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter your race. There are people who will stand next to you.
There's good people.
I am one.
Yes, I'm one. Hello. Hi.
So the Titans nonetheless win and advance on to the state championships. But Yost is told by the chairman that his actions have resulted in the loss of the candidacy of the Hall of Fame induction. But again, like I said, there was no high school Hall of Fame
That wasn't
at
a thing.
this time in Virginia. Yeah.
You've lost your induction into a club that doesn't exist.
Right. So while celebrating the victory, Gary is severely injured in a car accident with a truck after driving through an intersection. Although Gary is unable to play due to being paralyzed from the waist down, the team goes on to win state championship. Gary would remain a paraplegic for the rest of his life.
Oh,
That really did happen.
that's horrible.
However, it didn't happen in the sequence that they said.
Okay.
He was able to finish out the 1971 AAA state championship football game. The climax of the movie is a fictionalized 1971 AAA state championship football game between T.C. Williams and George Marshall High School. The dramatic license taken in the movie was to convert what was actually a mid-season matchup between these two schools into a made-for-Hollywood state championship.
Okay.
So in reality, the Marshall game was the toughest game T.C. Williams played all year. As depicted in the movie, the real Titans won the Marshall game on a fourth down come from behind at the very end of the game. The actual state championship was played against Andrew Lewis High School of Salem and was a blowout 27-0.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love those games that it's literally you don't know what's going to happen until the very end. When it's a blowout, it's just kind of like, I lose interest in those games.
Yeah.
But when it's like right there on the edge of your seat, I love those games. Those are the best ones.
Same. And that's what, so they finished the 1971 season with being 13-0. They won all 13 games.
Wow.
And the movie showed them being super close games. 9 of them were blowouts. So they stomped on them.
They stomped on them. 9 of them, they just shut them out from the beginning.
Yeah. Yep.
Which I've also been to those games where you're like Googling on your phone what the mercy rule is. And you're like,
right?
When do we just call it? Because
I think some high schools actually do use the mercy rule.
Yeah. I've been to some where I'm like, really, somebody should. This is just sad at this point.
Yeah. Very much. Yep. Gary's car accident took place on December 11th, 1971, after the season-ending state championship game.
Okay.
Not beforehand. Gary had been at the banquet honoring the team for their undefeated season. After the banquet, Gary borrowed his mother's new 1971 Chevrolet Camaro, and he lost control of the Camaro and crashed into the movie.
The movie?
And the cause of the accident. And crashed. Period.
He crashed through the movie screen into the theater, and the audience was just freaking out because now he's there.
I would love that.
I don't think that's what happened.
No. He lost control of the Camaro and crashed. Period.
Okay.
The cause of the accident was determined to be a mechanical failure with the engine mounts.
So that one
happened.
Okay.
That happened, and that's how he was paralyzed from the waist
horrible.
down. Yeah. So then the end of the movie shows 10 years later, Gary dies in an automobile accident caused by a drunk driver after winning the gold medal in shot put in the Paralympic Games. It is then revealed that it is his funeral and the former football coaches and players are attending. Because at the beginning, they don't say it's Gary, but by the end of the movie, you know it's him.
Okay. So he was in a second car accident?
He was in a second car accident, yeah.
Good Lord, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like Final Destination. If it doesn't get you, it's just going to keep trying until it does.
Oh. That movie, I love that movie.
I'm telling you. You know, everybody's freaked out about the log truck. We put that on the Mimesis TikTok, which we will talk about later.
Yes.
And that one got a lot of views. But do you know what the one that got me the most in the Final Destination one?
Okay, are we talking first, second, third, fourth movie?
I don't even remember which one it is, but it's the freaking chick that got her hand caught in the garbage disposal.
Oh, the teacher. That's the first one. That was the teacher. And then the house catches on fire.
Listen, I am so paranoid about my garbage disposal.
Yeah.
Like if I have to reach in there for anything, it is so fast.
You want to know how crazy I am?
What?
Most of the time, I'll reach under and unplug it.
That's not crazy. That's brilliant, and I don't know why I haven't thought of that. I need to.
Yeah, that one. Okay, so the log scares me, and then I'm afraid of getting on planes too because of that. That was the very first one.
Yeah,
and I watched it before I had to go on my first plane ride.
Well, that's silly.
I'm stupid. But I didn't know what it was about.
Oh, it's about a plane crash. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the second one, I think the third one has a roller coaster at the beginning.
I don't remember. They all kind of blend together.
They do. It's all the same thing. Death is out to get you. But yeah. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. So in the epilogue of the movie, the show shows the players and coaches' activities after the events in 1971. Coach Boone coached the Titans for 5 more seasons before his retirement, while Coach Yost assisted Boone for 4 more years, retiring in 1990. The two coaches became good friends. After Gary's death, the gymnasium at the T.C. Williams High School was renamed after him, and Julius would work for the city of Alexandria and remain friends with Gary until his death.
Oh.
However.
Oh, boy. Okay, that's just what the movie said.
I know. That's what the movie said. The Where Are They Now shown during the film's closing amidst the fact that Cheryl Yost died in 1996, his daughter.
Oh.
To an undetected heart condition.
Oh, that's horrible.
And she was not an only child. She was actually had 3 sisters.
Okay.
And then it also admits that Boone retired. He didn't retire. He got fired.
Oh. Yikes.
Yeah, to allegations of player abuse and coach complaints.
Oh.
And when you watch the movie, he's really hard. Like, getting them like to wake up at 3 o'clock and go for a run. These are high school boys.
Yeah.
Like, these aren't NFL players.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get to mistreat your students.
No. I do think coaches now are way different than like coaches when I was in high school.
Yes.
But I can't even necessarily say that because like I was big into cheerleading in high school, and I remember watching the show Cheer and seeing how strict that coach was with her competitive team. And I saw a lot of traces of my favorite high school coach, Vicky. I saw a lot of that in her, where she was very caring, but also demanded perfection. And I mean,
we worked to the point of exhaustion, but we won a lot of trophies and medals for it, so it paid off. But I don't think a lot of that mentality you could get away with on a high school level anymore.
No. I mean, you have too many parents, unfortunately, trying to coach and coach besides the coach.
Yes.
And
helicopter parents and
yeah. And it's too much. Like, I remember I had 3 golf coaches.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. All I can think of is that the pay wasn't that great. I went to a very underfunded school.
Yeah.
So I had 3 different golf coaches. The first one, he demanded perfection. And we're like, we're an underfunded school. Like, we don't get private lessons like some of these other schools that we're going to got. Like, we're all new. But we had a lot of fun. And that's the thing. And you could see that we were progressing. Yeah. And he was hard on us. Our second coach was a lot nicer. He was a little bit too lenient, like didn't care if people came to practice and didn't care like when they showed up. And it's like, no, you have to be consistent. Like, you either show up on time or you don't play.
Yeah. Did you ever have a coach like scream at you during practice?
Oh, yeah. The first coach that we had. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the third coach we had, I'm still friends with her now. And like, she was the good balance of both.
Yeah. Yeah. I had 3 different high school coaches through my high school career. And I can remember getting screamed at by our coaches.
Yeah.
Was a regular thing. And I don't know, I guess parents that have kids in high school right now, somebody let us know. Do the coaches still scream at the kids like that? Or is that something that they
I have a kid in middle school sports and no, they don't scream. Like, it's bowling.
Yeah.
But they get their attention. If they're goofing off, they like listen. You have to follow through, but it's not yelling. And they like the coach, he's really good. Like, I'm like, I really wish I had him as a bowling coach and not the coach I actually had. Yeah. Because our coach would just tell you what to do, not help you. And they actually like walk you through, throw a ball and show you what to do.
I know when my kids were in sports in middle school, they didn't get screamed at like that. And my oldest is talking about getting back into swimming. So maybe I'll find out. I know she needs to. She's such a good swimmer.
She is like, oh, yes, please push that.
So maybe I'll find out. But yeah, I remember getting screamed at. I actually remember one of the times I thought my coach was going to kill me. And it was my friend's fault. But when our coach would get mad, okay, first of all, backtrack. She had these fun little names. She called herself Coachy Poo, and the cheerleaders were the Rah-Rahs. Coachy Poo and the Rah-Rahs, which sounds like some sort of pop band. But anyways, she was screaming at us one day. And when she would scream, her lips would disappear. Like, she's one of those people that like her lips would disappear when she was really mad. And her lips disappeared and she was yelling at us. And one of my good friends on the squad leaned over to me and went, Coachy Poo's not happy with the Rah-Rahs. And I nearly died because I was trying not to laugh because I knew if I laughed out loud, I was going to get my ass handed to me by my coach. Like, I was going to be doing laps until my legs fell off. But saw my life flash before my eyes for a second. Why would you do that?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's all I got.
That's all you got? Well, this was fun. This was a good one. I definitely want to check out the movie now.
It's on Disney Plus.
It's on Disney Plus.
It's on Disney Plus.
Although I know most of it is Hollywoodized, but that's okay.
It is. But it's still good. It's a good movie.
Awesome.
There are a few little things that I wanted to say. Like, that was a goof. They used like the design of the 1990 helmets instead of the 1971 helmets.
Oops.
But the reason why helmets are improved is they keep you safer. So we're glad that they did that.
Yes, for the sake of the guys that were out there.
Yes. And then another goof was during one of the games, it shows them play Let's Go Blue. That piece of music actually wasn't written until the 1980s.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oops.
That's okay.
Yeah. And the movie shows the Titans playing several night games.
Yeah.
In the late 1960s, night sports were banned in the city of Alexandria.
Why?
I don't know. So they like never played. They played football on Saturday afternoons, not Friday nights.
Okay.
But I don't know. I didn't look into that one. I needed to, and I forgot.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think they probably recorded it that way because it looks more dramatic when you have like the lights on the field.
The football field, yeah.
Yeah. It looks more dramatic than, Saturday at 2:00.
Right. Right. Because then they could also differentiate between what was the practice, like when they were at Gettysburg, and then when they were actually at school having their games.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, this is
give it a watch. It's good. It is based on some of a true story.
I like this one.
Yeah. Me too.
Fun episode. Yes. Well, our next one, I did watch From Hell.
Okay.
And I have started my research on that.
I'm excited. Where can I watch it at?
That's a really good question. I think I watched it somewhere where I think it was Netflix.
HBO.
Okay. Yes. I did learn that was actually based on a graphic novel written by Stephen King. So
really?
It's not so much based on the true case of Jack the Ripper, but it's based on a Stephen King graphic novel about Jack the Ripper.
Awesome.
So we're still going to compare it to the actual case. Because
you can do like the mimesis and the mimesis and the mimesis. Do a full circle.
We're gonna go with what's shown and depicted and what actually happened with Jack the Ripper, because there are some things that they got right in there, and then there's other things that like the fact that at the end of it Mary Kelly was still alive. No, sorry guys, Mary Kelly did not make it. She got the worst of Jack the Ripper's fury. Poor thing.
Yeah, I'll have to go and watch it to do my homework for next week.
Yeah. So that will be the next one.
Yes. And y'all have homework to go and watch the TikToks.
Yes.
We have a Mimesis TikTok.
What is the handle for that?
Mimesis Podcast.
And where else can they find us, Sandra?
Facebook and Instagram at the Mimesis Podcast. And you can email us at themimesispodcast@gmail.com.
Awesome. And I think that's all we got for him this time.
I think so.
Until next time.
Bye.